Good evening, everybody. I'm Grant Boxleitner. Welcome to live coverage of the U.S. Senate debate between Senator Marco Rubio and Congressman Patrick Murphy at Broward College in Davie. The 60-minute debate is scheduled to begin at 7 p.m. And I'm joined now by USF Sarasota-Manatee political science professor Dr. Eric Hodges. Thanks so much for joining us. This is a big night. This race is one of only two statewide races in the general election.
Right.
The presidential race, of course, being the other one.
Right. Yeah, no, it should definitely be interesting. You know, the race has been pretty tight over the past couple of months. There was a poll that came out today that said the lead might have widened a little bit, but it still looks like...
that Bloomberg poll.
Right. Yeah, the Bloomberg poll actually had Rubio ahead by 10 points, but I think the majority of the polls still show it within a 4.
Still shows it within that statistical dead heat. 3.6, the real clear politics average right now. That's with that Bloomberg poll, but certainly encouraging news for Marco Rubio. That first debate, it did get a little heated, but I also thought there was a lot of substance covered in that debate.
There definitely was, you know, and Rubio really wanted to stay focused on the issues because, you know, it seemed like based on his experience in the Senate and what he'd done in the presidential campaign, he seemed very well versed on the issues. So even when Murphy would try to sort of lump him in with Trump, he was sophisticated enough that he could actually sort of disentangle himself from Trump in a way and actually focus on the issues.
Murphy most of the night was trying to tie Rubio to Trump, and then you had Rubio basically pointing out the congressman's record and trying to say he didn't have any significant accomplishments. And of course, Murphy hit back on that, but that got interesting, and that was kind of a theme throughout the evening.
Right. Yeah, no, and you know, he also did a decent job of actually tying Murphy in with Hillary Clinton as well.
Right.
You know,
that's a good point.
Yeah.
And so tonight, are we expecting to see more fireworks? This is probably their last debate. I know that they were trying for a third one, but this could be it as far as these two candidates go.
Yeah, I mean, Grant, I would actually expect more of the same, basically what we saw in the first one. I think you're right. I think Rubio is definitely going to sort of hit on Murphy's relative lack of experience, you know, just 4 years in, his inability to really get anything substantive done while he was actually in the House.
How effective is Murphy's argument about Rubio's attendance record in the Senate? Rubio always says, well, I was running for president, but then they point to other things. Is that an effective argument when we're talking? He's had ads that have shown that. That seems to be always a theme on his TV ads.
I think it is an effective tactic because in a way he's trying to show that Rubio really doesn't have a lot of integrity and he's just trying to sort of advance his political career. You know, so while he was supposed to be serving the people of Florida, he was actually out sort of promoting his own political agenda to run for president and things like that.
And an interesting report came out of Florida Politico talking about how the DNC has pulled millions of dollars from the Florida race as far as spending money on this Senate campaign, and they're using it in other states now. Apparently very expensive, as you know, to run a statewide campaign here in Florida.
Yeah, so the Democratic Senatorial Campaign Committee actually has withdrawn support essentially from the Murphy candidacy here, and they've sort of shifted that money into places like Missouri and North Carolina where they say they can actually get more bang for their buck, which, you know, is unfortunate in a way because the race was so tight and you wonder if they were able to allocate more funds.
And we know now that Harry Reid and Bill Clinton are among the folks that are saying Florida donors keep giving money. This race is close because they certainly see Marco Rubio as a very, very capable candidate, and this may not be the last we see of him on a national level if he wins this election.
Yeah, I mean, in a way you could argue that the Democratic committee is actually being a bit short-sighted because they think that they have better chances to actually take the Senate back in these other states. But what they're not really thinking about, at least it doesn't seem like they're thinking about, is that they could actually potentially end Rubio's career. If he were to lose sort of 2 elections in the span of 1 year, that would really damage his political capital moving forward.
2 statewide losses in 1 year like that, yes, really tough to see come back. I mean, we've heard him rumored to be potentially a governor candidate in 2018, a presidential candidate again in 2020, but I think it all hinges on what happens in 2 weeks.
Yeah, no, I think that's right, and I think that's why the Republicans are pouring so much money into the race. I mean, I think I recently heard that the GOP is actually outspending the Democrats 4-1 right now in the money that they're channeling into this race. So it's obviously very important to the Republican Party to actually win this race.
And we know Mitch McConnell and company, they have really this last, I don't want to say last gasp, but they know that there are a couple of these races really close, and they are pouring a lot of extra resources into some of these key states where they think they can hold on to.
Right. I mean, they're really concerned about the Trump effect. Right, and the ability of the Trump campaign and candidacy to actually take down sort of some of the down ticket candidates in the Republican Party. And that's why in races like this, they're really throwing their money in, whereas it seems like the opposite has actually happened with the Democratic Party, where they're sort of withdrawing their